Hello and happy Halloween. Welcome to the Get At It Gaming Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ben,
I am Alex.
and we are the bi weekly everything nerdy podcast, whether it's video games, anime, movies, you name it. We talk about it if we want to talk about it, if it's stuff we really like. This episode will post every other week on Wednesdays in the morning, and then on in YouTube on that Friday of that same week. So we do both versions of it. We're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Threads, wherever you would like. We'd love to hear from you. So we got a really good show today. So today I think we're getting closer to our break per se. As the holidays come up, news is becoming more and more scarce. So we've done more episodes like this one, which are going to be just some topics that we have that we want to talk about. Um,
Yeah.
so with that being said, let's jump into hidden trophies, which I know Alex said he didn't have any um, this week, and so I'm going to kind of jump into mine. I'm going to grab the thing that my dog just knocked over. Oh my goodness! We're going to start off with this. This is a PlayStation 3 Slim. I know Alex, you saw this when I did that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so here's what's crazy. I've decided to keep this. It's in really, really good shape, except for when my dog knocked it over.
Yeah.
I have ordered a hard drive. I'm going to put a full terabyte in here. But it's in really good shape. The buttons are good. Everything on this is pretty good uh, here. So I decided to keep that. And with a terabyte drive, it should have a ton more storage.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
Another thing I got, which I finally got, I know Alex was laughing because I finally got it, and I got it for 4 cents cheaper than everybody else, which is the Mega Man Battle Network collection. And I put it in my cart on Amazon, and I got a notice saying, hey, this is 4 cents cheaper now. So I say, you know what? I'm trying to get stuff that I can play on Christmas break because I'm going to be off for 2 weeks, which is super exciting. And then I bought this, and I don't know exactly what I bought. This is on clearance. It is Loop 8. It is Summer of the Gods. This is Celestial Edition. I don't really know what I bought.
I saw that at one of our local places, like our local store, because yeah, I guess someone sold it probably because they got on clearance like you.
Yeah, I mean, this was like $40.
Huh?
It comes with a scroll.
Is it like a visual novel? Probably.
So here's what's weird. It showed RPG moments where they're fighting creatures,
Okay.
and it's turn based, but
Okay.
it looked like like old school Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy X.
Oh, cool.
I got this little thing here. There's a CD in here.
Nice.
Um, here's the CD, and I got the game, which I've not opened yet. And here's the cool part. It comes with the town guide for where it's at. And it talks about like everything in town, like all the visuals, everything. I got it because I wanted something different for my Switch, as I'm making a lot of noise on my mic. But I thought this was really cool, and I was like, you know what? Let's try it out. And I love, to be honest, like on the Switch, this is the kind of stuff I love to get because it's not something you see all the time. I don't think this is one of those games that people are like all rushing out to get. I could be wrong, but it was normally like $60 to $70, and I got it for 40. But yeah, I plan to play that as well, just to kind of see.
Yeah, I'm looking into it right now. It has interesting backstory. Like it's Exceed and Marvelous. It looks like the producer used to work on the Lunar and Grandia games.
Okay.
But like as far as ratings go, I only just see a Metacritic, and like it's very in the middle. It's like 48, 49, 50. But at the same, like, I don't know, Metacritic's weird. Like sometimes Things actually are better than that. It just really depends. But it, from what you described and from what I'm just looking at, like it seems like my kind of game, honestly.
Yeah, and I to be honest, you know, I know reseller talk here. If I buy this and I'm like, and I play it, I'm like, I really don't like it. It still sells for way more than I paid for it.
Hmm.
You know, um, I love getting special editions on this like clearance, and I know I've said it before on the podcast. Excuse me. I only resell to be able to purchase more games. As a parent with 5 children, it's difficult for to get that in the budget, and so this is the kind of stuff that I find. But I saw this and I was like, I think I'm gonna. I think I want to get that. The PlayStation 5 was actually a trade with somebody, and I remember showing it to Alex, and Alex is like, "That is a giant mess you just traded for."
Yeah.
Uh, but the thing is, if I made the money back on the things I traded for, and I'm keeping the PS3, I'm probably going to put it in my living room, just because there is a ton of PlayStation 3 games that I think I could play again, or the kids can play.
Hmm.
So, I think, and putting a full terabyte on there, I think would do wonders for that system. It's a nice, and the one I ordered was a really nice hard drive. I
Nice.
had to get this, so the mount is gone as well. So I had to order not just that, but I had to order the mount as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I have to order a controller because I have no PS3 controllers, but they're
Yeah.
not.
I have like two, and I have like some fight sticks lying around.
Yeah, I don't think they're like super expensive if I remember correctly, but
Yeah.
I'll get it in the living room.
I have
And
an Injustice fight stick like collector's edition that's just sitting around that's doing nothing, you know?
are you actually saying you would sell me something? Because you
Yeah.
don't sell stuff
I've tried to sell
like
it
ever.
before to someone and they wouldn't take it.
Oh, so we're gonna have to talk off camera because now I got to see this because I do enjoy Injustice.
It's that light up um it's Injustice, the very first Injustice. There were two different collector's editions when it came out. There's one with like this Wonder Woman statue that looked okay. And then there's another one that was a little bit more expensive that just came with a PS3 fight stick. And it's like, which one would you rather get? Get the fight stick. It's a fight stick. And so it has Injustice stuff on it. You can like change the thing so like each button lights up around it.
Super cool.
Yeah, like it's a really cool thing. But yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, it's just sitting around. Like, I don't think anyone else would really touch it because I have a better fight stick.
Which
So
I find, so as we get ready to the holidays, this must be a miracle that Alex is willing to get rid of something.
I just kind of remembered
Uh,
I have it, to be
I
honest.
will we'll definitely talk off of the podcast, but let's also jump into what we've been watching, what we've been playing. Alex, I'm gonna let you go first because what I've been watching and playing is pretty sad. So
Oh, that's sad.
it
Um,
is.
okay, so what I've been watching, what I've been playing. Let's go with what I've been watching. So all y'all know, if if you're not new to this podcast, I am a huge fan of Lupin the Third. I'm a fake fan because I had never watched the first movie until now. I finally watched the first movie. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good first movie for sure. It was localized. It's a bunch of different things, but one of them, the main thing, it's called the Mystery of Mamo. Like it's like one of the very first Lupin the Third films, like just ever shown here as well. Um, like VHS, DVD. I feel like it was everywhere. I have the Blu-ray of it, and it was a Lupin film. Like it was very much what I expected, which is crazy because the one that's more popular, the Castle of Cagliostro, which is like my favorite, that's technically the second film, and so like there really is a jump in not necessarily quality, but like in yeah, I guess a little bit in quality, but like in differences. Like
Yeah.
the Castle of Cagliostro is more of a Miyazaki film, like it's prototype Miyazaki film, like it's very much Castle in the Sky, Spirited Away, that kind of stuff. Whereas Mystery Mamo is what if Part Two Lupin had a movie? That's what it is. Whereas the third movie, Legend of Gold Babylon, is what if Part Three had a movie, and that's what that is. So like yeah, um, it's on the track record of Lupin the Third movies being good, whereas most like TV specials and OVAs are not good. Like I feel like I've said this multiple times before, but like you don't really watch it for the story per se. You just watch it because you're like, oh, it's the gang, and the gang's doing something crazy. Like, oh, there's space aliens for some reason, or there's a giant brain computer thing. Um, like, yeah, you're not in there for the plot necessarily.
Right.
Although you are for Castle Cagliostro because the plot's really good. So yeah, like I watched that. Let's see. I watched something called Robot Carnival recently as well. It's an anthology um, anime film from like 1987, maybe.
Wow.
It was recently released in 4K, thanks to Discotech. So it was just a bunch of different things having to do with like robots and some. It's very artsy film. Like some of it's more story driven, and then others are just like just look at the pretty pictures happening. Like there's one that's essentially like Mega Man or something like that, and it's just a music video. Like it's straight up just like this really good music, and then this guy fighting to save a princess in a castle. Like that's just one of the. There's no dialogue or anything. It's just that's the video at this time. There's also another one where when I looked it up, people kind of compare it to "Take on Me," like that music video.
Oh yeah.
Um, but it's like a girl who goes to like a carnival, like a pier, essentially, um, and does a bunch of things and like goes into a ride, and then it kind of like with "Take on Me," where like it turns into like a different style. This take turns into like, oh, now we're flying and there's like different stuff. There's more robot-y stuff happening instead of just um I don't know, normal people, I guess I should say. And then like they're fighting like this big robot or something. But yeah, it's very artsy, it's very good. Um I don't know if it's for everyone, but if you don't like parts of it, like don't worry because there's like 7 parts to it. One of the ones which was really good, it was near the end. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like Western invasion or something. So it's basically like Japan versus like this crazy like mad scientist guy who's supposed to be like an American, and he's a Japanese person. So we watched it all in Japanese with English subtitles, but this guy is actually speaking English, and so like they have subtitles in Japanese for the English on the side. Um, and he like creates this mech to fight like and just destroy this town, and then the town creates a mech, but it's all like made out of like wood and all this other stuff. And so like it's this like group of younger kids like trying to pilot this mech to fight this old man. And it's really good, and like it's very much it's people. I want to say like the director or like the character designer for that one was a person who worked for like Gynax and Trigger. So like Kill la Kill, Evangelion, just like things that are popular, Gurren Lagann probably. So like that type of anime, like it's older than that. So like you can
Oh
really
wow.
see like, oh, this kind of looks like that. Oh, it is this guy. But yeah, that one was very funny. Like there's like this kid who's like trying to translate what the guy's saying in English, and he's like, I don't speak American, I speak English or something. Um, but yeah, that was really good. We had a movie night for that recently, so that's how I watched that. As for playing, I platinum Spider-Man 2.
Wow, look at that.
I don't know how long it took me, honestly, because I kind of messed up. Um, so I wasn't paying attention to the trophies, and because of that, I had to grind to do certain things. There's a trophy where you have to, without any spoilers, like you have to be in like a special mode where like you click both of the sticks, and then there's like a brief like rage mode or something. And when you're in that, you have to do 20 different attacks, like special attacks while in that rage mode. So you have a meter that's going down, but then you also have like your attacks on the left that you have to wait to recharge. And I was trying to do it. I just couldn't because I already beat everything. I was just waiting and like looking for random crimes that happen over the city. And that doesn't happen often, especially if you're just swinging around. Like it happens maybe every 3 minutes or 2 minutes or so, but like there might only be a few people there, and it's not enough people to like charge your meter again for any of the meters, whether it's the attacks themselves or like the special meter. So I ended up scrolling through my saves, the auto saves, because it showed pretty much every auto save it ever did. Um, I backed up to like 3 hours, like basically of my playtime when I like was grinding through like these hideout things that you had to actually do. And so then I just went back in time to that and then did those attacks and did it and got the trophy. And then I um turned back on the game and it was like, oh, you're only at 93% or something. I was like, no, I'm not. And I go back to my manual save and open that and then go leave and come back. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're at 100%. I'm like, yeah, I am. So, so yeah, like I 100% the game. I got the platinum. It's a very good game. Um, I was thinking about this earlier today, especially just watching some other things and just thinking. Um, I don't know if it's my game of the year. I really, really enjoyed it. I did end up having to not stream it. Like I streamed like 4 days of it, or 3 days of it, and those were like, so I probably streamed like 10 hours out of the 30 hours, I would say, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my time playing the game, but I didn't feel like it was a good streaming game for me personally. Like I was getting
Yeah.
too invested into the story because I really like Spider-Man, but then also if you don't pay attention, you just kind of lose. So it's really hard to like um stream and communicate as well as play a game like that, um because every fight, like, you can get a cheap shot on you and you can just die. It's not even like 16 where like, oh, I have all these health potions and stuff, I'm fine. With Spider-Man, it's like, no, if I just mess up, I could die, because you're only human. Um so yeah, I elected to just not do that and just play on my own. And then within the week, yeah, I beat the game. I platinumed it. So, um, yeah, I still think it's an amazing game. No pun intended. But I don't know. It's definitely up there on the list of the best games I played this year. I don't know how much of an impact it has on me compared to the original or compared to Miles or stuff like that. However, the gameplay itself is way better than those other two games. So that's what
That's what I've
really
been
sticks
hearing.
out.
I've been hearing a lot of people say that there's little differences, but one they did say the gameplay was much better than the other ones.
Yeah, definitely. And they're really good side quests. Like one of the last things I did, where I don't know if I did this one on stream or not, but there's two of them. There's like one where it's like try to find this woman's missing grandpa, and you just like try to just go and find him. I did this one as Miles, which I felt like was more impactful. Um, but you just try to like follow the grandpa and try to find him, and you eventually find him, and he's just at some lake, like looking at some statue or something, and he's just talking about like how he essentially has Alzheimer's, but he like misses his wife, and then like it just gets like really sad for no reason. But he's
Yeah.
like, "Have you ever been in love, Spider-Man?" And Miles is like, "I think like yeah, I have." Whereas like it's different if you do it with Peter, because Peter's talking about like he's like, "Yeah, I have." But he basically the guy just talks about like how he proposed to his wife and all this stuff. For Peter, he's already in that stage of life, and so it's impactful for him because like he wants to propose probably to Mary Jane, and like finally like get his life in order and just I don't know, just be a normal person. But like with Miles, I feel like it's more impactful because there's a love interest in that, and because he's younger, um, I think that it's better for mentoring. Like it just makes the scene better in my opinion. But you can do either or, or I should say you had the option of doing either or, but once you do it, you did it. Um, so you would have to like go back your save if you wanted to do the Peter one. The only reason why I
Right.
saw the Peter ones because I saw it online.
Right.
And then there's another one with the guy. I don't want to spoil it, but um, you do one final mission. Um, I don't know if you remember how. Did you play Spider-Man? How much of Spider-Man did you play? The first one.
Okay. So
Oh my
no
god, you
judgment
played none.
aside, I literally played like 4 hours into it.
Okay.
But I do want to go back and do it. The only problem is I was trying to find something to play with my kids the other day, and then I downloaded the original Kingdom Hearts, well, the remix one, the one
Yeah.
that's on there. So, which means I'll probably be playing that.
Yeah.
And I can't touch Spider-Man 2. My son bought it, and my other son brought it. So we have two PS5s,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a side tangent. And my other son brought it down and was like, "Hey, I don't know what to do with this option." And it was like the sync option, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he did it wrong. It erased all of my older son's game. And he had finished it and he had all was working on a platinum. So he literally has to go back and redo the game so he can go back and get that platinum and see where those trophies are. It was not happy in my household that day.
Yeah.
I said it was an honest mistake,
Yeah.
you know. But he was yeah. So I probably won't touch that until Christmas. But yeah, I think I was about 4 or 5 hours into the other Spider-Man.
Okay, because the original Spider-Man, there was this thing with this guy named Howard, and he was the Pigeon Man. Like there,
Oh yes.
you had to catch his pigeons, and so
Mhm.
you do you do a mission like basically finding a new home for his pigeons, and like this really like good song plays like in the background. I don't know what the song is, but like it's very like happy and like hopeful, and you're just gliding with the pigeons, like you just follow them and they create like a wind tunnel, and you just try to find something. I did that one as Miles as well. Honestly, I did most of the side quests as Miles, and I think that it benefited from that. I think to kind of close this off, as other people have said, I think the side quests are what makes this game a lot. I think the side quests are really nice bites of people and stories and emotion from New York. The main story is good and interesting. I think they've kind of written themselves though in I don't know, like they trap themselves because things happen where unless they're just going to do just more Miles focused stuff for the most part, um we don't have as many villains as we used to, I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. So like yeah, so like they're just like people get rehabilitated or lost or what have you. So like um they're just there aren't as much normal Spider-Man villains, but then also, yeah, that can bring in more for Miles and see more Miles things. There's spoiler. I'm not saying spoilers, but there's a thing at the end that like reference a new character, who I had to look up because I was like, "Who are you again?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are." And then they reference another character and another bad character. So like they're building things, but then they've also lost a lot of other villains. So I just don't know where they're going to go from here. So it seems like the next game, if there is another game, it will probably be the last. But they did confirm on I think it was the Kind of Funny podcast, spoiler cast. They confirmed that the new Wolverine game is set in the same universe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super.
Um, but yeah, that's all I want to say. I've really been playing. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's all.
Well, let's jump into something new. So as this year kind of closes out, which we're at the end of October when this comes out. Um, when this comes out, it will be after Halloween. Um, but you know, we jump into November, and then there's November, December, and the year's over.
Hmm.
Um, I want to kind of talk about like what games this year you thought were like totally under the radar, um, came out of nowhere, but have become like really good games for you personally. Um, I can talk about one that I had, one that there, but like, for you, what is that like under the radar game that came out and you're like, yeah, I had no idea I was gonna love it this much, and this is like a really good top notch game, but maybe didn't get all the hype like Spider-Man got, right? Or Final Fantasy got. Because those are like AAA titles.
Yeah. That's a good question. You even told me what this was earlier, and I still don't
I
really have an
did.
answer. One thing that I'm thinking of, kind of the reverse of that. Um, I think it did get hype initially, and then it kind of disappeared because it was so fast and early in the year. I would say something like Hi-Fi Rush was a really good
Yeah.
thing initially. People still talk about it, and like it was a big deal at the very, very beginning when it came out. Um, but no one's really talking about it anymore. I will say I don't blame them. I thought Hi-Fi Rush was really good. I never beat it. Um,
Yeah.
I played enough of it, I felt, and I felt that it was good, and the gameplay was fairly good, especially once you get more upgradables and unlockables. Initially, I didn't really enjoy it, but I enjoyed the concept of it. Um, I like the music a lot. I like the characters a lot. All of that. The writing's pretty good and funny. Um, so because of that, it kind of hurts itself. But at the same time, I feel like it is kind of under the radar, especially now. Maybe I'll go back to it eventually, but it's something that I'm just I don't know. I think it does deserve more hype than it deserves more current hype than it currently has.
See, and I agree with you because I remember that was part of. Oh, by the way, they were doing like one of their things. I think it was uh,
It was an
not
Xbox thing.
E3. Yeah, but it was not E3, but it was like their E3, if I remember. And they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's out today." Um,
Yeah, it was in
I
like January or February or something like that,
yeah,
and people compared it similar to like where it's like, oh, Celeste was at a Nintendo Direct. Celeste is out pretty much now. Like it
yeah.
was like that kind of drop.
I got through the first two bosses, and I think I was the same way where I was like, I just kind of fell off of it. Um, and I think it was a good game. I
Hmm.
really do. One that I know that we both you'll agree with me on this. One that kind of came out that just blew up was definitely Sea of Stars. I know we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Uh, I don't think they were expecting what happened with it. Um, but on a lot of people's list, that's going to be on their top 10 list.
Hmm.
Um, that game came out. I remember seeing the trailer, and I'm like, okay, so the graphics look good, looks old school. I'll probably get this. And when it came out, I got it. And then Alex and I were talking, and I was like, hey, have you played this yet? He's like, no, I'm gonna play it though. And I had started way before him, and I think it really, really took what my thoughts it was gonna be. And
Hmm.
and for me to take a game and just to play as much as I did is a pretty big deal. I don't get a lot of game time being a parent, and so the fact that I got that time, was able to do it, I mean, blew my mind. Um, and so when I was able to, and a lot of times he'd be streaming and I'm friends with Alex on Xbox, so he's like, I can see what you're playing right now. Where are you at?
Yes.
Excuse me. But it was one of those games that came out, and then initially overnight it just kind of blew up. Now I think it's kind of calmed a little bit, but there is talk of a physical release here pretty soon on Switch. Um, I think on all the consoles, really.
I think so. Yeah, I'll probably get a Switch copy because like I need an actual physical copy. I feel because one, I want to support that game, um, and two, I want an excuse to play it again. I only played it on Game Pass, so
That's where I played it.
yeah, I would like to purchase the game and give them more money.
Yeah, I wonder what the trophies look like, though. To be completely honest, I'm almost scared that there's some crazy trophies in there. And you did a lot more than I did, because even when I finished it, I
Yeah.
was like, "Wait, it's done." I remember telling you that.
Yeah, there's still quite a few, at least for the game, the Xbox achievements. I want to say most of them are the same as the trophies. In game, like if you kind of spoilers, kind of not. There's a place on like a ship where you can like look at a book, and there are in-game achievements in there. And so I think if you like do all of those, you get it. But then there's also one where it's like you need to do the moonerang thing and keep it consistent for I think 20 times,
Yep.
and then you get an achievement, which I've never did, because I was always horrible at the moonerang. Um, but yeah, like I'm curious how that is as well. But I know that they want to do DLC and all that.
Yeah.
I would love DLC because I did as much as you could for that game without doing the achievements. I did like all the main story stuff as well as like the Easter egg and stuff at the final end there. So
Yeah. And to be honest, it's gonna be a tough year because I feel like that's on my radar for end of the year of my game of the year. You know?
yeah, I think that is as well. For me, just because of like you said, it's something that kind of just showed up, and like we knew we expected it, and we expected it to be good. We didn't expect it to be this amazing. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I'm hoping that it wins something good at the Game Awards. I don't know what exactly. Like, there's a lot of things that it should win for. I think it should win for, or I think it should be nominated for. I think it should be nominated for like, um, obviously best indie game. I think it should be nominated for best RPG, best score, because I think it has an excellent musical score in it. Game of the year, honestly, but like, there's so many other weird things or other things that like that we didn't play that are gonna be on
Yeah.
there. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of off topic for you, but like because we're talking about things that kind of just showed up out of the blue. I haven't played this yet. Um, but like Alan Wake 2
Yeah.
sounds like it's doing really good and it's surprising a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like so much so like that might be on the game of the year nominees, and no one expected this really. Like
Yeah.
people like Alan Wake, people like American Nightmare or whatever, but like they never expected Alan Wake 2 to be as big as it seems like it is right now. but
which
I mean,
is
it just came
funny.
out, so
It's funny. I was on my Xbox Series X the other day, and I was looking at all the games I owned. I own the Alan Wake one like HD remix or whatever,
hmm
the nicer one that came out a couple years ago, and I had no idea that I owned it. So, which it's funny because you talk about the video game awards. So I kind of want to jump into that topic that I was telling you about, and so
secret topic.
I know, and it's so funny because it transitions well. So we've got the video game awards are coming in December.
hmm
Um, I want you to tell me at least one of the categories, like best indie game, game of the year, who your thoughts are they're going to win, and tell me a couple of game trailers you think you're going to see at the Game Awards. And I could throw some of that out there if you want to think about it for a second, because I know I just threw this topic at you. I saw something today from Jeff Keighley posted something, and I was like, that'd be a good topic.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can do some stuff really quick, and maybe we can bounce off each other. But I mean, I already said it. Best indie game. I feel like Sea of Stars is going to be there.
Yeah, I
Um,
can agree with that.
I feel like that's going to be best score. As well as best. See, wait, never mind. Then that's going to be kind of weird. Best score. I feel like it might be Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
Because the music in that game is amazing. Even like when it gets all weird and rock and metal, like it's awesome. Um, best like voice actor. Um, I forget how they do that. I forget how they separate those. I don't know if they do separate those. I forget. Um, it's probably going to be a few people, but I feel like it's going to be the man who Ben Starr, who does Clive in Final Fantasy 16.
I can
The
see that.
Clive Rossfield, and then I feel like it's going to be also the guy who I don't know who this guy's name is, but the one who plays Sid in 16 because he has a very specific voice and he's very good in that game. But otherwise, like other things, like they're weird. There's stuff coming out soon that where I just don't know like what it could turn the tables. So like
Right.
if there's like a best family game thing later on, it's could be Mario Wonder. It's probably Mario Wonder. However, it might be I don't okay, so like best RPG, I'm not sure what's necessarily going to be in there. Because Final Fantasy 16 is an RPG, but it's not an RPG, so I don't know if it's actually going to be in there. Um, there's also Baldur's Gate 3, which is another
Yeah,
one of those things where like, man, that's a thing that came and went, huh? Or like in a
yeah,
certain
it
like groups, like I know people who are really obsessed with those types of games, and so they're still talking about it and they're still playing it and having a good time, and that's great. Um, that game doesn't look like it's for me. It doesn't look like it's ever going to be for me. Because I just don't really like tabletop um RPGs like that. I
right.
don't like Dungeons and Dragons a whole lot. I think it's really cool how everything so customizable, but like yeah, that's a game that came and went for sure. But I feel like the critics really enjoyed it, so I feel like it could be there. Um, I don't know if Sea of Stars is going to get nominated for that award, but I don't think it's going to win. I think it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3 um, for sure. Another one that might get nominated for that is maybe Mario RPG for some reason, but
Yeah,
like I don't think that really deserves to be on there necessarily because that's just kind of cheating. Like I don't know, Mario
right.
RPG is like supposedly. I mean, I don't agree with this, but it's one of the best RPGs ever. Um, I think it's one of the most iconic RPGs ever. I wouldn't say the best. Um, So yeah, I don't know. That's just a few things I can think of, like what the Game Awards would be dealing with.
I don't really have like that. I know that obviously Game of the Year is going to be Zelda, Spider Man,
I completely
uh,
forgot.
Baldur's Gate's going to probably be in there.
I
Um,
don't know if Starfield is.
I don't think it's
I
good.
think it might be.
It's
I
gonna
think
be
it might get nominated, but I don't think it's gonna win.
no, it's gonna be nominated, but I don't think it's gonna win. But as for trailers, I'm gonna
Oh
throw a
right,
loop.
yeah.
I'm gonna throw a loop in here. So I think we're gonna see a Grand Theft Auto 6. So here's the problem right now, and everything I've been reading about Rockstar, they're financially they're not doing 100% as what they've done in the past. There have been obviously some very big change ups in management.
Hmm.
And so I think at this point, with the leaks and everything else that's happened, they're gonna have to show a trailer. They're gonna have to show a trailer. Maybe not a date, but they're gonna show a trailer. Um, I mean, we're at that point now where they're gonna have to, and they're gonna have to be like, look, here it is. Here's a trailer, long awaited, and you know Jeff Keighley is gonna get the top. There's gonna be these little ones in there, like these cell phone games they throw in there, and then there's gonna be these bangers. And you're laughing because you know it's true. He always throws these like, no one cares about this. No one cares about this.
Excuse me.
Um,
How dare you? We're gonna see the English trailer of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link during that because we just got the
Probably.
trailer of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link today, the Japanese one.
I
Um,
saw that. Yeah,
so
I think
yeah,
you'll get that. But I think one thing that they're gonna show a trailer for, and you're gonna say nope all day long. I think they are gonna do something, whether it's a trailer, whether they talk about it. And you're shaking your head already because you know what I'm gonna say, right? I'm gonna say the new Switch.
big nope, big
I
nope for
think
me.
I think it's gonna be like super quick. I don't think they're gonna go into details, but you're gonna see something with it because everything I'm reading from like so I follow this group on TikTok and they just do video game news, and there have been several news stories about um, Nintendo, and they're ramping up things, and like there's rumors of like devs talking about how powerful the new Switch is, that have leaked out there because they don't, it's on accident they mention it. I think you're going to see something along those lines.
Big
I
nope.
mean, I could be wrong, um, I but I think the big
I would bet money on that.
I think the GTA one's a guarantee. They have
The
to.
GTA one for sure. The Switch one, I don't think so.
Mhm. I think if you look at the numbers for the video game awards, every year they keep going up and up and up, and it's not a full showcase that what Nintendo would want, right?
Hmm.
But I think if they go, look, here's want to show you this real quick, and they just show something.
Nintendo has learned their lesson to not show things at the Game Awards. Just like a Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, that is true.
You
Maybe
know
we'll see
what?
that.
You know what? Yeah. Let's see Metroid Prime 4. We'll see the actual trailer for Metroid Prime 4 at the Game Awards. It's been how many years? All the other, like, Bayonetta finally released. So, like,
Well, look at that. Look at that one that they released not too long ago. Like this was it this year they released the Metroid game? Is that this year or was that last year?
no, that was last year. Dread.
Okay.
But I mean, like, that was never, like, teased. That kind of just
No.
showed up out of nowhere. But, like, like, there was, like, the Game Awards curse for a while where it was Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 were both shown off at the same Game Awards, and then just no signs of life at all until
Yeah.
recently. And even then, like Metroid Prime 4, I feel like we see job listings a lot. It's like I
Yeah.
don't even think that game's ready, but
No.
who knows? Like it feels like it's the final like end of the Switch era, kind of. Um, at least within the next year or two or so. Um, so it's possible we might finally see a trailer for it, and then it comes out like in March. But yeah, I don't know what much else.
Well,
The
and
the Kojima game. We'll see more
yeah,
of that.
because him and Jeff Keighley are really good friends. I
Hmm.
will tell you, we're getting closer to the end of the Switch cycle because once they do announce a new Switch, Facebook Marketplace, eBay are gonna blow up with everyone selling their Switches. Um, I mean, in my household, we've got, let's see, 3, we have 6, but I have my OLED. I have an Animal Crossing. We have the OG one from like the very first one launched.
Yep, I have that.
My son's got the Zelda one, and then we have 2 lights. Um, but that's when you'll see those pop up. Like I guarantee Facebook Marketplace is going to be flooded with people selling their Switches.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
I mean, and that's the time to buy, especially like the special edition ones. That's the time to buy. But I think, I mean, what besides the things I named, what other trailers do you think you're going to see that are going to like? Because last year was pretty impressive. I mean, they got to top it from last year.
Yeah, like I really don't know. I think we're gonna see more Death Stranding, for sure. Something Kojima related. Um, like you said, GTA. I don't think we're gonna see Kingdom Hearts 4 because Missing Link finally is doing stuff, and I don't think you should cross the streams there. I think you should focus on your mobile game first, and then Kingdom Hearts 4. People might say otherwise, but the way that Kingdom Hearts works is that Missing Link has to come out first and do certain things, and then once that game is finished or at a certain point, then you can have Kingdom Hearts 4. Um, because the mobile games are important. They're very
Yeah,
important, actually.
yeah.
We'll probably see more Genshin and Honkai Star Rail stuff.
Oh yeah, that always
Um,
shows up there.
we'll see that other game that's not that's I don't know if it's through that company or not. Muhoyo or whatever. Um, but there's that one that like looks like Spider-Man. Remember
Oh yeah, yeah.
that people are like it's stealing Spider-Man stuff, and it's like, did you not see Genshin Impact? Like when I mean people said like, oh, it's Breath of the Wild and stealing it. It's like a lot of things. Yes, it's taking inspiration from that. I don't think it's stealing it. However, it stole animations from Near Automata, where like the dashing, the weapon floating on you, the way that you do your attacks, like that was just straight up animations from Near. Um, yeah, so I feel like we might see those kind of things. We might see. I don't think we'll see any new Last of Us or anything. Because I think
No,
that's too
you
soon.
don't think we'll see factions?
Factions is dead.
Yeah,
Factions is
I
dead.
agree. Well, what about this? Do you think we're going to see Suicide Squad? I mean,
It comes out in February, right? Or January.
well, they've kind of last time I saw they really pushed it back, and they've not really um, pushed a date for it. Um,
There is a date. I think it's in like late January or early February. It's like the same day as either Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, or Persona.
yeah,
Speaking of which, yeah, we'll probably see a new Ryuga Gotoku trailer. I mean, they love showing that off, so I'm sure we'll see
it,
that.
so the Suicide Squad 22/24 is the date,
Okay, that's the same day as Persona 3, I believe.
but because it was wasn't it because initially it was supposed to come out this year, like actually like last month or something,
It was
and then they
originally supposed to come out. Yeah, I think so. And then something happened. I mean, obviously, like
oh I
we
know
looked
what
at it.
happened.
Yeah.
They showed that live play, and people were like, "Why does this look like Fortnite?"
Yeah. Like I I'm not excited for it. I'm not excited for all the weird stuff where everyone plays the same and all of that. I will say that it's an interesting concept for a story. Um where like there's everyone's brainiac. So I think that's cool. Um, I don't know why the Suicide Squad is safe. I think that's kind of dumb. But like yeah, like the Flash was evil, and then Superman was evil, and all of that. So
I still laugh at the scene where like, you know, they're standing there and that plane blows up and the shark's name. I can't think of the shark's name. Is it Killer
King Shark.
King Shark? And he's like, "Look, Superman, just save that man." And it's like so majestic, right? And then Superman melts the guy's face, and they're like, "Oh, this is not going towards plan." Um, that still makes me crack up. I think, and here's the thing that I had a problem with, is it did seem very Fortnite when you get on the gliders and then you get on the glider and then you jump down, you shoot a bunch of people, and
Mm-hmm.
then you get on another glider. If they fixed it and actually show something different, then I think it's gonna be better. Which is crazy because your other three games that were in the DC universe were Batman games. So how do you? I still am confused on how you go from Batman to looking like Fortnite. I just really don't understand how that works. Um, but again, I would say that they're going to be at the Video Game Awards. Um,
Yeah,
I I would think they would show a new trailer,
they
you
probably
know,
will. Yeah,
and they even said before when they were showing that crazy trailer, and everyone's like, "Damn, this looks way too busy." They said there's other characters that are going to be playable. So, and this is Kevin Conroy's last voice work that was done.
I think that's the main reason why I got pushback. Um, because like it looks so bad, and then people were talking about how like, man, that's sad that this is his last role, and it's a bad game.
Yeah, that I was, and I think we remember I was pretty hyped for this. And
Yeah,
then after that trailer, we talked about it on one of our podcasts, and I was like, "This is not what I wanted,"
yeah,
you know. And even you said like they all played the same, and that's not what you would have wanted. Each one of these people should play completely different.
yeah. It's weird. Like King Shark just has a gun. Why isn't King Shark eating people?
Exactly. Even like, even like Harley Quinn, she's not going to be. I would think she'd be more physical combat
Yeah,
than the guns. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, even like Captain Boomerang, I don't remember him using guns so much, but whatever.
He didn't. He was like tied a Tasmanian tiger. Like he had just a bunch of like trick boomerangs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they were all like, here's a bomb one, here's something else.
So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Um, do you think there'll be anything from Square Enix? Like any, because I don't really have any big games coming up, really. Kingdom Hearts is the only other one I could think of that are like in that
There
realm,
might be
but
one more thing for Final Fantasy.
maybe they'll announce DLC.
Um, no, they already did announce that.
Okay.
They announced that like PAX or something. Um, and I think it's too early to show that off. Um, maybe. But I think they might show seven, like a tiny like trailer of seven or something.
I think they could probably do that.
Because like
You
seven's
know,
coming out February what 29th or something. Like
I
because
wonder
like
if they'll
they're
be like, oh, hey, there's a demo for it right now. That'd be cool.
what they need to do is they need to bring out that demo for Persona 3 because there's a demo like supposedly like in a bunch of different countries and we don't have it.
Yeah. I mean, I I I watch the video game awards every year.
Same.
Um, and usually Alex is gone, and so normally during the whole show we're just texting back and forth of, "Hey, that was super cool." It's crazy because normally at that point we're on different time frames,
Yeah.
so you may get it before I get it within like seconds or vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. Um, but I want to throw that in there. I think I think it should be very interesting, and when we get back from our break, I'm sure we will talk about that and then what our game of the year is. and stuff like that. So, the last thing I want to talk about today is something near and dear to my heart. So, as of October 18th, 1985, the NES was released in America here. So it's like a 30, it's their 38th year birthday, which is insane to me. But the NES is the reason that have video games now, and the video game market is so huge. Um, and it's funny because they called it the Nintendo Entertainment System. So, I mean, I know that we both play games. We've played games on there. I mean, what memories do you have from the NES?
Um, it's an overrated system. Play a Super Nintendo. Um,
I knew
so
that was coming.
we had an NES growing up. I don't remember the time frame of when we got a Super Nintendo. If we already had a Super Nintendo, I know we got stuff late. I want to say, but we got like an action set. I still have the box and all that. We got the action set, so we didn't really have games for it. Like we really, as I feel like most people did. It's kind of like with the Wii. Like we really only just played the pack-in game, and that was it. Like we had Zelda, um, and then I think I rented like Yoshi's Cookie once, but like otherwise, like we really just played Mario Duck Hunt. That's all we really touched. Now like when I visited like my neighbor's house, we would play like Donkey Kong, Junior, 3, like I never played Metroid back then, but like I don't know, like a bunch of things that you think of now. Like I feel like I played those later in life, like Kirby or something like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, like with the Wii and everything, I think the beauty of the Wii and the beauty of the NES striking gold twice was just like you had a really good packing game and it justified the price of the whole console. If you wanted more, there was more. You did not need any more.
I think it's funny, me being a collector. I'm three away from 300 titles. And I know we've talked about this before, but growing up, you probably only had like three. The most people had were like three or four titles
Yeah.
because those are your go tos. So for me, we had tag team wrestling, we had double dribble, um, we had all three Mario's, um, and then we had Zelda, and those are the ones we had.
Mm.
And then every now and then I would get something like Bayou Billy on accident, or I had Castlevania 3. I got it for my birthday one year. But it's crazy to look at this little console and then watching my kids play it on their Switch,
Yeah.
you know? And to be honest, if you're not a purist and you have to play it on the console, that is actually, to me, the best way to play it.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Switch online stuff is very good. It's some of the best emulation quality that we'll ever see. Besides like playing on an actual console, but um with an NES, you get a little iffy with Super Nintendo, but with like an NES, it's so simple that
Yeah.
you don't really need much to run it. Whereas with Super Nintendo, it's harder to emulate. N64 gets even harder with like the FX chip and all that kind of stuff, and just 3D rendering and all of that. Like yeah, it just definitely gets harder as you do that. But yeah, definitely um for $20 a month or $20 a year for just the NES side of it, like that's definitely worth it. There's a bunch of games in there. They're all pretty much excellent. Like what's that one that I played recently? Like City Connection. I never played that before. That's a really
Yeah.
fun game.
Yeah. I got that randomly a couple years back, and I played it. And I think the best reason to play it on the Switch is, and I'm going to say it, save states. Um,
And rewind.
yeah, and rewind. I have never finished Zelda 1 or 2. The first Zelda I ever completed on my own was literally Zelda on Super Nintendo. That was the first one to ever complete. And so, um, playing that on a Switch is the best way to do it because it is difficult. And this way, you can, if you ever need to take a break, what we used to do back in the day is you would pause the game and then leave your Nintendo on and hope you didn't have a power outage or mom didn't turn it off,
Yep.
in which my mom did once. But I think the NES has that console that if you would have told me back in 1985 that this console would like people would be buying it, there'd be documentaries on it, people would be collecting it, I would have laughed at you, you know?
Yeah, I saw I can finally watch that I think I can finally watch Console Wars.
Oh, good.
Because I think I saw it on Paramount Plus. So,
That's yes, that is where it is. And anyone that's listening, that documentary is fantastic.
yeah.
Uh, Especially when you get to the 16-bit wars. Oh my gosh, it got dirty. It got dirty really, really quick. Uh,
Yeah. I've had the book for years. I just never been able to like watch the actual documentary and stuff, but like now that I have Paramount Plus at least for a while until Frasier's done. Then yeah, I should give it a chance and watch all this other stuff on it.
yeah, it's crazy because it's like, you know, when I first watched it, I didn't know that Seth Rogen was part of that.
Yeah, he wrote like the forward or something
Yeah,
for the book.
but like speaking to these like old executives and like, especially when you get into the 16-bit era when they had to go to court because of ratings on games,
Mm-hmm.
like Nintendo would call out, Sega for something, right? Oh, well, they've got this, they've got a gun, and blah blah blah, and then you know Sega would call out Nintendo in front of Congress. It's crazy to watch these guys like, oh yeah, we hate each other,
Yeah.
you know. But speaking of the NES, I think um, I think this is probably the most influential console ever. And one thing people don't realize is at this time Atari had gone under.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't selling. People didn't want to buy video game consoles anymore. That's why it was called the Nintendo Entertainment System,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is crazy. I had no idea that's why they called it that. Um, so
Yeah. Or like with the Japanese, like it's called the Famicom, the family computer. So like
yeah,
it's also something that's not really video gaming, although the cartridges look more like a kid's toy.
they do.
But because they're all different colors and all that, and all different shapes and sizes. Um, but yeah, no, the NES is definitely something that paved the way for the future. Um, it's definitely like really the start of video games, honestly, like modern video games as you continue. Like there are still games built like Mario. There's still games built like
Yeah,
Metroid. They're just they're they're not as like simple as like the Pong days and other Atari days. Like yes, there are Atari games like Adventure or whatever, like that are prototype Zeldas. Um but few and far between. Like it's mostly just like here's soccer, here's football.
yeah,
Um but yeah, no, it's fun. And yes, it's definitely fun.
absolutely. Well, if you listen this long, uh, this podcast is a bi-weekly podcast, the Get Out of Gaming podcast. We post every other week. Wednesday of that week, we do the audio, and then Friday, we do the actual video of it. Um, One thing we're really definitely trying to do is on Spotify to gather more followers. So if you do listen to us on Spotify, please hit that follow button. Anywhere else you get your podcast, which we are just about everywhere. audio wise, definitely hit that subscribe, hit that follow, and so you can get our episodes downloaded automatically.
Mhm.
Also on YouTube, definitely hit subscribe there. Uh, making sure to kind of help us along the ways with that. We have a Discord, so definitely come join the Discord um, there. And then again, I always say this on the episodes that we are getting ready to go on a break, but we have done episodes for you guys, and there will be episodes pretty much for from like Thanksgiving through first of the year, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. So we did a bunch of extra ones. So kind of like a gift to you guys. So Alex and I can take a break. Um, yeah, was there anything else, Alex?
Just get at it.
Get at it.